Hello, it's so nice to see Crinkle people again. Good morning, evening, night, wherever you are. I hope you're having a great day, a great night, or, wherever you are. So recently I watched a YouTuber called Jessie V, and she was doing some of her usual content, talking about what happens, at night. Excuse the noise, it's my dog and my family, they're so up at night. So what she did was, she was reading a scary story, and I was browsing through the comments, as we all do, hiding in the comment section, that a few people did ask her if she could do a Vocaloid Alice of Human Sacrifice origin. And Jessie V just isn't that kind of person. She does a lot of creepy, amazing content, but she isn't really into, anime fandom of things. So I thought, why not? I'm an anime fan, I'm obsessed, and I also heard the song. So the song actually tells a story, and it's actually really, Vocaloid usually comes up with these dark and gory stories that tells a whole story. Now, I listened to Alice Human Sacrifice, and you can find it on YouTube in Japanese and English, although listen to discussion as advised because it's very gory. So I've got the story behind the song up here, and I'll read it. So this answer contains gore. Do not read or listen if you have a weak stomach. So without further ado, this is based off a creepypasta called the Alice Killings. 5 people were killed in the same order as the song. The factor that linked all the murders was the calling card, which was a playing card left at each scene. The Alice written in the victim's blood. These 5 murders were unsolved. The first victim was Sasaki Megumi, also known as Meiko. She was an owner of a restaurant described as headstrong, with a short temper and sharp tongue. She had attended a party and decided to walk to her friend's house, as she was too drunk to drive. So never drink drive, so she was at least, following the rules. She was last seen alive at 1 in the morning when she left the party. The next morning, about a mile from her house, a couple noticed a large amount of blood on a path and followed it. They stumbled across the Megumi's body, which was torn apart and impaled on tree branches. Her playing card was the Jack of Spades, which was crammed into her mouth. No fingerprints or DNA was found at the scene, but there was vomit. However, the female of the couple admitted it was hers. Okay, the second victim was Yamane Akio, also known as Kaito, which is a male. He was a singer in a barely known band, and was known as a kind-hearted man who would never raise his voice off stage, so he's really kind and gentle. He was abducted from his apartment 11th February 2001, with his bandmates being the last ones to see him alive, as he practiced with them earlier that day. That evening, his girlfriend went to visit him and found the house empty. A missing person report was filed, and the search began. Security footage showed a hooded figure leaving his apartment with a garbage bag, which bowled suspiciously. No one ever saw him in person, and he is widely believed to be the killer. But he was never caught, as his face was hidden. The next week, the owner of Yoshida, the bar he was come and played at, was opening his bar when he met with his corpse. He was slumped on a table, with his vocal cords ripped out, and was discovered to be shot in his head. His Alice card was the King of Diamonds, and was clutched in his hand along with his vocal cords. So we're not sure if he did rip his own vocal cords out, or did, probably not. Kai Sakura, also known as Miku, the infamous Hatsune Miku from Vocaloid. She was a teenage girl. She was described as sweet and well-loved by her family and friends. She had planned to go to college to become a fashion designer, but was abducted a week before she was due to graduate from high school. Her family went frantic to find her, and the town was combined to find her before she was found 2 days later. The killer didn't try to keep her hidden and buried her in a shallow grave. Her Alice card was taped to a stick and marked her. It was the Queen of Clubs. Her corpse was horribly mutilated. Her eyes were carved from her body. Her skin was flayed and her mouth was carved open. A crown was sewn to her head, most likely while she was still alive. No sexual crimes were committed. A note was found alongside her body, but a handwriting match was never found. It was fairly unreadable, except from a few distorted phrases, which included, "Death is a distorted dream. She will forever rule," and "Haha, those who die are the lucky ones." The last one is Oshiro Hina and Hayato, also known as Rin and Len from the song. These two were very close siblings and barely fought. Hina was the older sister and was very stubborn, and Hayato was very smart, allowing him to skip a grade and be in the same class as his sister. They were found dead in their beds on the 4th April 2005, killed with lethal injection. It was found that the killer sneaked in through their bedroom window, killed them, and went back out. They held half of the ace of hearts each, which spelled out Alice when placed together. The only evidence left apart from the playing card was a very smudged footprint on their carpet. However, closer inspection was impossible due to the damage made to the footprint. A year later, the mother committed suicide out of grief, and the father is going through extensive therapy due to the death of his entire family. I'm sorry, my dog is so just... He's extremely depressed and heavily medicated. So that is the end of the origin. So what happened was they both were killed very horribly. That's basically the meaning. But the story behind this is there was a series of killings in Japan that happened some time ago, and all the victims, so basically they sang this song, and basically it isn't true though, but it was based on a killing in Japan that happened some time ago. I think the story behind it, but it isn't real, but it was based on something. If you do want to listen to the song, however, it is on YouTube, but then again, video and everything, it's just, it's advised to be careful, because it can be really, really disturbing. But if you don't mind, you're welcome to listen to it. I am on Wattpad right now, and I see a lot of Vocaloid songs that they actually want, that they explained. I was figuring, since I talked about victim of Alice's sacrifice, or whatever you call it, might as well. So, the next one is Dark Woods Circus. I only listened to the Japanese one, but there is, however, English sub to the song. So, Dark Woods Circus is known to be quite a sad story, and most believed it is based on a true story. The story that it is based around is about circuses, most particularly old European circuses. What happens in the circus is that children get captured and mutilated. On my personal belief, I think that the children were led into the circus and then captured away by the ringmaster, changing them into freak shows or certain monstrosities, and then they would be put on display and also sexual, and the thing would be shown. What had happened during the circus? 7 children were experimented on, and they were Miku, Rin and Len, Kaito, Neru and Haku. In the end, Meiko joins them. Neru and Haku had their legs extended drastically. Kaito had his brain switched for one of the dogs. Miku's legs were replaced by goat legs, and Rin and Len share a body, so they were soon together. During the song, Neru and Haku don't sing. Miku, Rin, and Len sing most of the song, and Kaito only gets one line. In my view, Kaito only got his one line because of his mentality of a dog, and a dog can't entirely sing. The phrase rotting fruit shows a loss of the V card. The prequel, Wide Knowledge of the Late, Madness shows what had happened while they were being experimented on. But after seeing the original, which was quite creepy, mind you, I was thinking maybe or maybe not. Another song which isn't officially known as a prequel, but many people seem to view it as we is Kogome Kogome, which bases itself off the same setting, yet is known to be quite different as it is a different setting and the time period altogether. At the start of the song, one of the messages in writing song is, as they dream of a mother's embrace. This shows that, since in Kagome Kagome they are orphans, that it is a possibility it could be considered prequel. However, the two songs mentioned above have been proven to not be official, as in my knowledge of the late Madness, the PV was changed, and added Dark Woods Circus intro music was placed in. Kagome Kagome is based on another setting and time period altogether. It's not certain whether it's true or not, but it's a possibility that it could be. Now, if my reading is too fancy to know what the hell I'm talking about, basically, Dark Woods Circus tells the story of 7 children, which were originally orphans, and they were captured by the ringmaster and sent off to be experimented on to become some kind of hybrid or monstrosity, and then sent back to the circus, where they would be displayed as a freak show, and some disturbing scenes would be shown. Now, of course, Vocaloid is definitely not for kids. It is really, really, might I say, R-rated. So definitely not for kids. I wouldn't recommend any kids to watch or listen to Alice of Human Sacrifice. Human sacrifice is the act of killing one or more humans as a part of a ritual, which is intended to please or appease gods. Now, I don't think that this is really good, like, honestly. And, yeah, just no. I don't really, really like it. So, I will talk about parts of the song. So, this song again is based on horror and may have some disturbing lyrics or meanings. So, the part 1 is introduction. The song begins with each of the 5 Vocaloids, Meiko, Kaito, Miku, Rin, and Len speaking. Meiko says, "Once upon a time, there was a tiny little dream." Kaito said the person who had the dream is unknown, and it was really such a small dream. Miku said the little dream started to think, "I don't ever want to disappear. How can the people dream of me?" And then the tiny little dream started to think itself out loud, and it finally came up with an idea. "I will make the children come to me, and then they will make my world." So it is about a tiny little dream who doesn't want to disappear. In order to survive, it traps people inside of it to create their own world to keep them dreaming and keep the existence of the dream. Once the old sleeper dies in the dream, it traps a new sleeper until they die. The cycle will then continue. Like said before, this is a spin-off of Alice in Wonderland. This dream is Wonderland, a dark Wonderland. So, the spade represents, for Meiko, before we start with Meiko's part, the spade represents fall and winter and the power of darkness. It symbolizes intellect, action, air, and death. The first trapped sleeper is Meiko. The first sleeper is Meiko, who dreams about herself. She is wrathful, characterized by intense anger. She believes she is righteous, killing people. She thinks it is the morally right thing to do. She's brutal and killing many people throughout Wonderland. So basically, deep into the darkest forest, Alice walked in the line, captured and imprisoned as an embodiment of sin. If it were not for the murderous wake left behind, no one would have suspected that she had ever been. That's the second verse. The darkness of the forest symbolizes evil. It is darkened, which shows how she is becoming more brutal. Miko walked the line, or in other words, she has gone too far with her so-called righteous murders. She has an embodiment or a visible idea of a sin, an immoral act, seen worse as just a crime. Wake is not the way you see it as. In this case, it is a watchful vigil, held beside the body of someone who had died. Combining that with murderous is a slaughtered body, or in this case, bodies. Suspected that she had been, in this case, been is another word of exist. I like to believe that she no longer exists, not only in the dream but in the real world as well. I believe that if she dies in this dream, she dies in real life as well. The spade plays make her well, the power of darkness, the death. She's evil, brutal, which is why she was killed. So basically, she was like, in the dream she was like, if I kill people, this is righteous, this is justice. And then in the end, she has gone too far, and she died in the end. Second part 2 is Kaito, represented by the diamond. The diamond represents warmth, life, light, femininity. They symbolize earthly matter, money, courage, and energy, but also spitefulness and annoyance. The second sleeper in the dream is Kaito. Next is Kaito, who dreams of singing. He is themed as fragile or innocent in this case. The songs he sings don't seem to be pure like him. They are demented or psychotic. He sings of the sick and disturbed, which makes the people go mad. Yet he doesn't realize and continues to sing his twisted sick songs throughout Wonderland. Although Kaito has a beautiful voice, his songs are disturbing. The lyrics of the song were so disturbing that a madman, or a person he made insane with his songs, finally shot him dead, to stop his songs from reaching any further. The bloom left symbolizes Kaito's innocence and purity. Without the songs, he is this. He is loved when he dies. He also died with a twisted grin, which assumes he is also crazy, and sung these things on purpose. Part 3, Miku the Club. The clubs represent will, wealth, work, luck, happiness, fire, night, and darkness. The third sleep in the dream is Miku. Then is Miku, who dreams of being a queen. She is an innocent girl. She is enchanting, or attractive and graceful, elegant. She has charmed the people of the land to her beck and call, a gesture requesting attention by a wave or a nod. A peculiar or strange country is under the commands of Miku. Because the country simply obeyed Miku's commands, she was throned queen. However, she fell into paranoia, a mental condition characterized by delusions of persecution, unwarranted jealousy, or exaggerated self-importance. Because of her impending or soon-to-be death, she fell into a dark, evil, and nightmarish dream, going insane and is out of touch with reality. She hated her fate, so she secured her regimen, or ways of doing things. Although it never told about her death, only foreshadowed it, her death is by her paranoia, her madness. She was so disgusted of her dark side, her body that begins to rot and age, thrown in madness of seeing disgusting things of herself, so she dies. The club fits with Miku well, because at the beginning she was wealth and happiness, but by the end, it's shrouded with darkness. So basically, Miku dreamt of being, a queen with all the wealth and happiness, and she was like, oh, I'm so beautiful, but then she thought that if she ages, she will most certainly die, so she was scared and filled with paranoia, so she dies. Part 4, and also the last part, Rin and Len, the heart. The heart represents the power of light and are the center of life in the world. They symbolize knowledge, love, joy, and complexity. The last sleeper in the dream is Ren and Len. And as this passed, 2 children walked in the woods, partaking in tea underneath the trees. They never part. So unlike all of the other Alices, Ren and Len are introduced differently, without describing them. Strangely enough, these 2 are sharing a dream. This might be because the dream is different than others, as it may end differently. Foreshadowing? Probably. Rin and Len are full of curiosity, but hinted as naive. Unlike all of the other Alices, they seem to be fully aware of what is happening to them. They are lost in this dream and they cannot wake up. Countless doors may symbolize as an impossible maze, so impossible that no one could get out. They open many doors also symbolize their naivety, that they are mindlessly doing things that could get them in trouble because they are so worried about getting back. Ren and Len are continued to be described even more. It can be seen that Ring, being stubborn, can get them into a lot of trouble. She also won't let anyone hold her back from doing what she wants. Her younger brother is humorous though, but also clever and intelligent. He could possibly make some stupid mistakes, but also help get out of those mistakes. But the mixed personalities of these children didn't work well together, and they brought even more misfortune into the attempted mistake, seeming as though the maze has gotten worse. The dream was transformed into a nightmare quickly, and they're trapped in this endless maze. Unlike the other Alices, they also don't exactly have an ending. Instead of dying, they were stuck in this wonderland for forever, still trying to find their way out. The heart works well with these two because at first they are joyful, but then they get themselves in worse trouble in complexity. So basically this whole dream, so the summary, I'm gonna summarize this all up. Alice Human Sacrifice is about a dream that traps people into it until they die. The first Alice is a girl who dreamt about righteously killing people in her way, but then is executed for her sins. The second Alice is a man who dreamt about singing. However, he sings about horrible things that drive everyone mad, and he is shot to death. The third Alice is about a girl with beauty and put everyone under her command, and she is soon risen to be queen. Because she's aging, she drives herself into paranoia and dies. The last Alice is about two children who realize they are trapped in this maze of Wonderland and are trying to leave but cannot. In the end, they are trapped in Wonderland for eternity. So there's actually something like this that's called the Alice Killings. If you're not disturbed by any of this, listen to the music. It is actually quite catchy. I actually quite like it. And if you want to know more about the Alice Killings, search it up. You can search it up, just do what you want. But be warned, and I warn you again and again, it is gruesome, gory, and disturbing. So if you're easily disturbed, a queasy stomach, might vomit out whatever you eat or drink, I would definitely not encourage you to listen or read it. But if you want to know more about the Alice Killings or listen to the music, go ahead. I warned you, so don't blame me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will be not too scared to sleep. And don't worry, I'm pretty sure this is just a song. I'm pretty sure you won't end up in the dream. But if you do, you can't blame me. Again, thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Remember, stay creepy. Love you all. Bye bye. And remember, stay creepy. Sweet dreams.